Come on, just grab us some drinks, my sister-in-law Hannah said, dismissing me with a wave as if I were there to serve her. I gave a strained smile. We have a dinner reservation in 10 minutes. Lucy rolled her eyes. You're good at this stuff. Just hurry up, she said. I should have walked away then, but instead, I let them chip away at me with their constant digs. Soon, they'd do something so cruel, so outrageous, that I'd finally reach my breaking point. When that happened, I'd make sure they remembered it forever. I'm Giana, 35, and I'm in the middle of divorcing my not-so-great husband, Micah. I've made up my mind to distance myself from him and his toxic family. From the moment Micah and I got married, everything changed. He started treating me terribly, and his family didn't waste a second showing their true feelings. His parents and his two sisters, Hannah and Lucy, were always openly hostile toward me. Their husbands, Tom and Dominic, never took my side and fueled the toxic atmosphere. Over the years, it only got worse, and what should have been family gatherings turned into miserable affairs. The tipping point came during a recent vacation meant to be a chance to relax. The plan was simple: unpack, settle into the hotel, then head to Passion for dinner. But after the meal, some members of the family decided they wanted to party until they couldn't stand up. Despite having early plans the next day, Tom and Dominic, always stirring the pot, pointed out that the younger group could have their fun, but the older generation, Micah's parents, just wanted to relax. Everyone had hoped for a calm break, a chance to enjoy some peace, but Micah's family had other plans. Things seemed okay at first until we reached the hotel. Micah's sisters, Hannah and Lucy, immediately began fighting over trivial things, while their husbands, Tom and Dominic, acted like children. Micah was too busy yelling at me over a packing mistake, one that was actually his fault due to his disorganization. Giana, where are my socks? Micah snapped, clearly irritated. I laid them out for you. Micah, I'm not your mother, I replied, my patience wearing thin. The tension grew when the rest of the family arrived. Hannah, always the more dominant sister, shot me a dismissive look. Can you go get us drinks? She asked, her tone dripping with superiority. I glanced at the clock, reminding her, we're running out of time, we have dinner soon. Lucy rolled her eyes. You're good at this stuff, just do it quickly, she said. I clenched my jaw. How many times do I have to remind you I'm a chef, not a waitress? Giana, relax, Micah interjected, sounding exasperated. Lucy shrugged. You do work in a restaurant, don't you? You serve food and drinks all day, she said as if it was no big deal. I'm not just a waitress, I said firmly, and this isn't up for debate. Let's not blow this out of proportion. Micah waved it off. Okay, let's just get ready for dinner, I'm starving. I tried to brush it off, chalking it up to the exhaustion from the long flight. I thought once we settled in, things would calm down, but I was wrong. Our dinner at Passion turned into a complete disaster because of my in-laws. They nitpicked every detail, and because I'm a professional chef, I became the scapegoat for anything that didn't meet their high, often ridiculous, standards. Giana, honey, something's off with this sushi, don't you think? Hannah asked, her tone condescending. I haven't tried it, I replied, trying to stay calm. Dominic, her husband, added, the ambience isn't great either. Don't you have connections in the restaurant business? Maybe you could get them to fix it? I don't work at Passion, Dominic, I said, gritting my teeth. Tom, trying to defend his wife and brother-in-law, said, no need to be rude, Dominic was just asking a question. I mean, you're a chef, you should know what makes a dining experience good by now. Everyone in the restaurant was aware of the drama. I felt completely humiliated. Instead of enjoying a vacation, I had become a punching bag, expected to cater to the whims of my husband's family. It was clear they didn't see me as part of the family, I was just there to serve them. The moment I fully realized this was when I found out they had planned activities for the next 3 days without me. I'd wake up to an empty suite, wait around all day, only for them to return late in the afternoon, drunk and laughing about all the fun they had without me. Did you see Dad fall off the boat while we were tubing? Tom laughed, barely able to catch his breath. It wasn't that funny, Dominic grinned as Hannah playfully elbowed him. I thought it was hysterical, Hannah said, reliving the moment I had missed. I had had enough. I walked up to them, my voice rising. Hey, guys. Hannah feigned surprise. Oh, hey Giana, didn't see you there. How are you doing? What's going on? I thought we were all going tubing together, I asked, my hurt clearly showing. They exchanged uneasy glances. Finally, Micah spoke up. You were sleeping. We didn't want to wake you. You couldn't knock on my door? I said, my frustration boiling over. I thought this was a family trip. From that moment on, it was clear they saw me as an afterthought. I was nothing to them. The last straw came a few days later when our vacation was almost over. After dinner one night, I went to bed thinking we'd all leave together in the morning. Our flight wasn't until the afternoon, so sleeping in made sense. But when I woke up at 10 a.m., the entire suite was empty. Micah, his sisters, and their husbands were all gone. Their luggage was gone. Everything. I called Micah, but he didn't answer. None of them did. Desperate, I contacted the hotel front desk, and they told me they'd checked out just after 9 a.m. They were as confused as I was. In that moment, I realized just how little they cared about me. At first, I was heartbroken. Then, rage took over. It was obvious that Micah's family, his parents, his sisters, and their husbands, despised me. They had always excluded me in subtle ways, but this time, they had crossed the line. Instead of drowning in sorrow, I decided it was time to take control of my own fate and exact a little revenge. I extended my stay at the resort, upgraded to a smaller but cozy room just for myself, and made sure to fully embrace the stunning sunshine and beauty of the island without anyone else. No longer burdened by the need to please anyone, I booked all kinds of activities: casino nights, boat cruises, tubing, hiking, shopping, and even a glamping adventure. Along the way, I bonded with a lively group of single women my age, sharing drinks and laughter as I unloaded about my miserable marriage and the cruelty of my in-laws. Their immediate support and willingness to stand by me reminded me of what real friendship felt like. For the first time in ages, I experienced true freedom, free from the toxicity of Micah and his family. I decided to stay for 2 more weeks in the Dominican Republic, savoring every new day. The painful memories of Micah's family, the yelling, the belittling, started to feel like a distant, unwanted chapter of my past. Of course, Micah called me the same day his family abandoned me. The conversation would change everything, or at least, what was left of it. Hey, Micah, I said, strangely casual. Hi, I replied coldly, determined not to let him hear the turmoil in my voice. You sound so calm. Good, I was hoping you were safe, he said, his tone somehow fake and friendly. I'm perfectly fine, I answered, keeping my composure. Actually, I've got plans tonight, but I'm sure that's none of your business. He huffed, clearly annoyed. Excuse me, I'm still your husband, and I'm part of this family. Yes, it's my business. I let out a short, bitter laugh. That's rich. Since when does family mean leaving someone behind on a trip you insisted they join? You all abandoned me, and that says everything about how little you care. And don't try the protective husband routine, it's as convincing as fish-flavored ice cream. There was a pause. What are you implying? I spoke slowly, firmly, every word drenched in bitterness. Your mistake was thinking you could treat me like garbage and that I'd just take it. Leaving me behind backfired. I'm divorcing you. And by the way, I'm going out tonight with a great guy named David. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you? All your manipulation only made me stronger. I'm doing great, Micah. I hope you get what you deserve. I hung up before he could reply. True to form, Micah and his family, his parents, sisters Hannah and Lucy, and their husbands Tom and Dominic, bombarded me with calls and texts afterward. I ignored every single one of them, choosing instead to keep enjoying my time. My vacation was blissful, and as I continued posting pictures and updates from my adventure, my supportive followers, who knew me as a well-respected chef with a strong online presence, quickly rallied behind me, pushing back whenever Micah's family tried to spread their lies. It was satisfying to watch their attempts fall apart in real time. But still, I wanted more than just public validation. I craved true vengeance. By the time my extended vacation ended and I returned to Louisiana, I was full of purpose. Rather than returning to the house I had shared with Micah, I checked into a discreet hotel. I resumed my job, dropped only vague hints online that I was back, and ignored the flood of messages from Micah and his family. Slowly, a plan began to take shape in my mind, a plan to target the one thing they valued most, their image as a perfect, united family. They ran a family business together, and I realized they had used that business as a weapon against me. Now, I wondered how they would fare when they started turning on one another. 2 months later, I decided it was time to set my plan in motion. I picked up the phone and called Micah. Hey, Micah, it's Giana, I said calmly. He sounded relieved but cautious. John, it's good to hear from you. Things have been chaotic without you. We all miss you. Where have you been staying? That's for me to know, I snapped. Let's get to the point. I'm still divorcing you, and I've got some news that might affect you and your family. What's going on? He asked, his voice betraying his nervousness. Considering our marriage is basically over, I think I owe you the truth. I overheard some things involving Hannah, Lucy, and their husbands. They laughed about how they keep you around only to tear you down. Remember that time they made you drive 3 hours to a closed store just to humiliate you? And that seminar you missed out on? Your cousin Tiago was offered your spot last minute. This is crazy, Micah said, shaking with disbelief. My sisters and their husbands might not be perfect, but they wouldn't do that to me. Oh, there's more, I said, not holding back. Your parents gave your seminar pass to Tiago without telling you. They never planned for you to go, and your mom's been secretly seeing a contractor named Beau for years behind your father's back. He erupted. I don't believe any of this. Well, you can check for yourself, I said, texting him screenshots, emails, and other evidence I'd gathered with the help of my loyal online community. There was no denying it now. As I'd anticipated, this information detonated like a bomb in their home. They scheduled a big family meeting, and I watched it all unfold through their security camera feed, something I'd learned to do with help from my tech-savvy followers. The entire family went into meltdown mode. Hannah screamed at Lucy. Lucy hurled insults at Hannah. Tom and Dominic barked at each other, and shocking new secrets spilled out. It turned out Lucy had been stealing money from Tom's account for years. Dominic had been having a 5-year affair with a coworker, and both sisters had known about their mother's affair with the contractor. It was total chaos, with accusations flying and objects being thrown. Months later, their once thriving family business crumbled, clients left in droves, and extended relatives distanced themselves to avoid being caught in the fallout. Their perfect family image, the one they had clung to for so long, shattered beyond repair. They had always found comfort in bullying me, but once they started turning on each other, there was nothing left to hold them together. In the end, the downfall of their business and the collapse of their family felt like the ultimate form of poetic justice. It confirmed to me that I had made the right decision. Sometimes, the only way to deal with people who constantly tear you down is to let them self-destruct. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Stay stunned.